So, Better Man. I had no intention of watching this film. Hey, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam here to talk about Better Man. And now, if you don't know, like I didn't know 5 hours ago, this is a biopic or biopic, however you want to pronounce it. A musical one about Robbie Williams, the musician. I thought the next biopic I would see would be the Bob Dylan one, but I have to go see that with, I'm trying to go see that with Jovi. We'll see if we actually end up making that happen. I actually do want to see that. Anyway, a friend of mine was like, hey, this movie, Better Man, we got to go watch it. He came, picked me up. We went and we saw it. And, on the way there, he's talking about, oh, just so you know, like, the movie, he's a monkey in the movie. And then, I'm staring out the window looking at something, and I let that thought sit, and I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, he's like, look it up, look at the poster, and there it is. Robbie Williams is he's playing a chimpanzee, an ape in this movie, looking like straight out of Planet of the Apes, which I will get to a little later. But anyway, if you don't know who Robbie Williams is, like, seriously, I didn't know. And I mean, I had no idea who this guy was. He's pretty popular here. He is massive over in Britain. Like, I had to look him up. He's a really big deal over there. My friend was excited to see it because he's obviously a fan. And he was like, come on, of course you know him. And, there are people who have entered pop culture that, they're not on my streaming service, but I know who they are. Like, Billy Idol, Elvis, obviously, Queen, Elton John, Johnny Cash, all these people who have had movies about them, Ray Charles, who, they're not really my generation or anything, but I've heard them. But yeah, he played me about 4 Robbie Williams songs, and I couldn't even hum along to them, so I was going into this completely blind. Now, this story is about his life from his childhood to his boy band roots to adulthood and all the struggles that he went through. And it plays similar beats that you've seen in other musical biopics, but I truly, truly, truly appreciated this one. It doesn't rewrite the book or do anything that you don't expect, but the way it's done and the energy this movie brings, it's amazing. It's incredible, honestly. I had a way better time than I thought I was going to have watching this one. Okay, so we're going to start with negatives like we always do because we like to start with negatives and end with sweet. If you're new to the channel, that's how we do it here. We like to end on a positive note. But anyway, so what I didn't like. This movie is just over 2 hours long, and it's not too long, which I often complain about. I didn't think this movie was too long at all. I thought it was perfectly timed. But there's a lot of time devoted to watching. He's a rock star, so, obviously there's going to be the sex and drugs and booze and all that stuff that leads to, like, a rock bottom. And watching his descent to rock bottom, was a large part of this movie. A large part. So much so that the ultimate redemption that he has might have been, half an act, if that. It wasn't very long. And so I don't really know if that's a net, because watching his rock bottom fall, obviously, or his fall to rock bottom, I should say, it was massively entertaining. But I would have liked to see his recovery, like the process of his recovery. I would have liked to see that delved into more. So, I don't think it's an ultimate deal breaker. It ruins the movie. It's more of a missed opportunity than a full-on, sour, in my estimation. I said estimation like I'm smart. And next, and probably the biggest thing for me, is just the music. Because I am not a Robbie Williams fan, the music to me was just eh. Now, to the movie's credit, there's not a whole lot of it compared to others. Not at all compared to others, honestly. This is actually much more toned down. But, when songs did break out, I couldn't even, bop my head along to it or anything. It was just... The music just wasn't for me because I'm not a Robbie Williams fan. But if you are a Robbie Williams fan, then you will like it. Now, that's just the songs in general. I do have something to say specific about his voice, which we'll get to next. Okay, so what I like, there's actually a lot of things here. First off, the whole monkey gambit, him looking like a chimp or an ape in this movie, um, it's because that's how he sees himself. I mean, there's even a line in this movie where he talks about how he's not evolved. So he wants us to see him how he sees him. And at first I thought it was like, like I told you, my friend told me about this in the car. I thought it was going to be like a dumb gimmick. But I gotta say, the CG and motion capture, it was top notch. It was like Planet of the Apes level. Like, it was that good. So much so that after a while, I actually stopped looking at it as, oh, CGI monkey, and just, it's another character in the movie. The way he acts, the way his face emotes, everything. It's some of the best I've seen. Like, seriously, like, it's either Planet of the Apes level or better. I thought it was done very well. Speaking of, it only works because Robbie Williams himself is in the movie and he acts his behind off as this character, as his younger self. Which, something I do want to mention. Not only does he star in this movie, he's an executive producer in it. And I did mention earlier, there's a lot of time spent on his downfall. And I was just pleasantly surprised and actually appreciative when I found out that he was so involved with the movie and let the movie show this, because he's not shown in a great light. All movies like this show the character, show their ascent, and show that they do, maybe one or two things that are just so bad, and then, they get their redemption. But no, a lot of this movie is spent showing that this dude is just a complete and total jerk to so many people. I mean, a lot. He's a complete douchebag. He's funny and he has some charm. So as the audience, you kind of like him a little bit. But yeah, he does his behavior and some of the stuff he says to people in this movie. Like, I'm like, that's the stuff where I'm like, wow, okay, they actually showed him doing this, because he said some stuff that if he said it to me or anyone that I know, he would not have been forgiven in this 2-hour runtime, because we would still be beefing today. I promise you that. But yeah, just appreciate him being just open and honest with how bad of a person he actually was, before his redemption arc. Now, I did say I didn't like the music in general, but I have to say Robbie Williams has a beautiful voice. I don't think he's a good singer. I think he is a phenomenal singer. There's moments in this movie, where it's not a whole dance or song number or anything like that, but he's just singing to, a certain one person or maybe a small group. And when you hear his vocals, I was blown away. Even at his age now, he sounds amazing. So it's just that when that singing is, put with music in creating a song, obviously, I wasn't really feeling the whole picture. But, that one piece of it, top notch. Another piece that I really liked, even though I didn't like the music that much, the choreography for all the dance numbers, come on. If Wicked hadn't come out a few months ago now, then I would probably be gushing about this choreography the same way I gushed about Wicked's. Like, I really liked it. There's one in particular with his boy band that when they're just going through the street, I thought it was an amazing, amazing number, and the director deserves kudos for that. So, really like that. And the last thing I really just want to leave you with, yes, it's another biopic, and there's another one out right now, like I said, about Bob Dylan that I eventually have to see. But this one is just, the energy it brings you it's different. I can't really explain it. Like, all of them start off, or at least the ones in recent memory. I'm thinking of, Rocket Man and Elvis right now. And even Queen, the Queen movie. All of them start off, with some great musical number that gets you hyped up. And then, it slows down as it goes back to their childhood and their growth and all that stuff. And this movie kind of follows that formula. But even when it goes back to his childhood or whatever, or when you start his childhood, I should say, like, it's so good. Like, he's always riffing, always talking. And maybe it's because this movie has narration with Robbie Williams himself talking about what you're seeing. It may be because, he's so quick and he's chirping and he's just always, He swears like a sailor. Maybe that adds to it, but there's just a certain vibe this movie has where it never feels slow and it's always in your face and you're just always along for the ride. So I really, really dug that. This was a total surprise for me. I really thought I was just going to watch this. I didn't think we were going to do a review again till later this week when I start talking like comic books or stuff, or maybe if we see, or we have a screening tomorrow, or no, screening on Monday. But I didn't think I was going to talk about a movie soon, but I had to turn on the camera real quick and talk about this. Better Man, if you haven't seen it, I think you should go see it. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. I really dug it, and I hope you see it and let us know what you think right down there in the comments. Oh, and please, if you liked this, like and subscribe and share. I'm going to start saying that this year. We really would like your help with that. So appreciate you guys, and until next time, I'm out.